Good evening and thank you for joining us. The 31st Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APAC, Economic Leaders Informal Dialogue has kicked off in Lima, the capital of Peru. The two-day summit is bringing together leaders from 21 economies that jointly account for almost two-thirds of global GDP and half of the world's trade. The APAC meeting held in Lima, Peru gathered leaders and representatives of Pacific Rim countries and economies. They include Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and U.S. President Joe Biden.
With inclusion.
In her welcome address, President Dina Boluarte of Peru said the summit aims to promote more inclusive economic growth. Boluarte also underscored Peru's commitment to leveling the playing field while providing necessary tools for social, financial, and business inclusion, which are the motor of APAC economies. Chinese President Xi Jinping delivered a written speech at the APAC CEO Summit, as read out by Commerce Minister Wang Wentao. Xi said despite headwinds and undertows, economic globalization has been the general trend. He said the attempt to block economic cooperation and break up the interdependence of the world amounts to backpedaling, while noting how global prosperity and stability cannot be achieved when the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. True development means common development of all countries, Xi said. Noting that innovation is a source of productivity, Xi also highlighted the benefits of artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies to rev up world economic growth. He also expressed confidence in meeting this year's growth targets for China, with China remaining the biggest engine of world economic growth. He added the country will continue to share China's development opportunities with the world. On the sidelines of the APAC summit, President Xi Jinping held talks with regional leaders, including the Prime Minister of Japan and the President of South Korea, among others. China and Japan agreed to translate the consensus reached on the issue of the discharge of nuclear sewage from Fukushima into action as soon as possible. Xi Jinping is also expected to meet with U.S. President Joe Biden on Saturday, Peru time. Tracy Furness has more.
President Xi Jinping met with Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba on the sidelines of an informal meeting of APEC leaders in Lima, Peru on Friday. It marks the first meeting between the pair. Xi said he hopes Japan will work with China to establish mutual understanding and to handle major issues properly, including their historical issues and Taiwan, constructively manage differences and safeguard the political foundation of bilateral relations. Ishiba said that Japan-China economic cooperation has great potential and the Japanese side has no intention of decoupling from China. Xinhua news agency reported that the two sides also agreed to translate the consensus reached on the issue of Japan's Fukushima nuclear sewage discharge into action as soon as possible. She also called for promoting sound and steady development of the cooperative partnership between China and South Korea. He made the remarks in his meeting with South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. She said that over the past 2 years, the international and regional situations have undergone many changes. No matter how the situation changes, China and South Korea should stick to the original intention, adhering to good neighborliness and friendship, and remain to the goals of mutual benefit and win-win cooperation. She also met with New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon. She said there is no fundamental differences dividing the two countries. Luxon said New Zealand remains firmly committed to the One China policy and looks forward to enhancing high-level exchanges with China. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
Hong Kong and Peru signed a free trade agreement. It includes the removal of tariffs on 90% of Hong Kong-originating good exports to the Andean nation with immediate effect. Chief Executive John Lee and President of Peru Dina Boluarte witnessed the signing of the free trade agreement between Hong Kong and Peru. Under the agreement, immediate tariff-free treatment will be given to 91% of goods originating from Hong Kong exported to Peru. Tariffs on the remainder, around 7% of the goods, will be eliminated in phases. The agreement also sets sights on facilitating market access for sectors, including finance, transport, and other professional services. The Peruvian government pledges to facilitate e-commerce activities and not to impose tariffs on electronic transmissions from Hong Kong. Both sides will also establish mechanisms for consultation and settlement of disputes. Lee said Hong Kong welcomes Peruvian enterprises to set up their business in Hong Kong.
It offers significant strategic value to both economies. Peru, with its young and energetic population of more than 34 million, is an emerging market of enormous potentials.
President of Peru, Dina Boluarte, said the agreement can promote the Andean nation service and e-commerce industries while tapping the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area and also the wider Chinese markets. Attending the APAC meeting on the same day, John Lee met with Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba and Chilean President Gabriel Boric.
Prime Minister, good to see you again. So good to see you again.
Lee also met with Singapore's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong.
Looking forward to continuing strong relationship and looking at new ways in which we can strengthen our cooperation.
Under your leadership, Singapore will reach new heights, and obviously our friendship and relationship will also reach new heights.
Other leaders that Lee met include Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim and Vietnamese President Luong Quang. With a free trade pact between Hong Kong and Peru, the South American nation is expected to export more specialty products to Hong Kong. The business sector in the city thinks the agreement could encourage Hong Kong businesses to develop emerging markets in Latin America. Danny Zhou has more.
Made in Peru products might be a rarity for many Hong Kongers. At present, Hong Kong mainly imports fruit such as blueberries and avocados from Peru. The new Free Trade Pact is expected to expedite the process of customs clearance and ease market access. Some freight forwarders in Peru envision that increased varieties of Peruvian specialties, such as alpaca and sea island cotton, may tap into the Hong Kong market.
It will be very good opportunities, like from the agriculture and also from all kind of manufactured textile. Also, it will be a very good alternative, and we will be more competitive than others that don't have that FTA, right?
Edgar Vasquez is Peru's former Minister of Foreign Trade and Tourism, and now he is working under a business institution. He pointed out that his country has signed similar agreements with countries including South Korea and Singapore. Meanwhile, Peru's business communities attach great importance to the Hong Kong market. Many companies in manufacturing and garment industries have expressed the hope to enhance exchanges with the city.
To make business together and use Hong Kong as a platform, again, in order to promote our exports, not just with China and of course with Hong Kong, also with all the Southeast Asia. And also the other important piece of this agreement is that with this we will have the possibility to be very well known in Hong Kong, and of course trying to promote the investment.
And a representative of Hong Kong's commercial sector at the APAC summit in Lima also thinks the new agreement could pave the way for Hong Kong businesses to develop in Peru and explore Latin America, an emerging market with infinite opportunities.
We can't be complacent anymore. And so I had to open my eyes and learn about the rest of the world.
Danny Zhou, TVB News.
Welcome back. The Kai Tak Youth Sports Ground held its second test event this afternoon, featuring an international rugby match between the Hong Kong and Brazil teams. This as around 3,000 spectators gathered to watch the match, which is double the number of the previous test event. Timothy Lee tells us more.
Holding its first international sports events, the Kai Tak Youth Sports Ground attracted revelers from around the world, including a number of rugby coaches.
We feel great to come here to see the beautiful stadium.
Walking in here, the whole atmosphere is cool. We're obviously early for the game, but it's been a good experience so far. I'm coming from Sai Kung, so it's super easy for me.
Spectators entering the arena must first display a QR code, while food and drinks brought outside and larger umbrellas were not permitted to be brought inside. Organizers also arranged 2 fast lanes for people not carrying bags, but relatively few visitors used the lanes. Secretary for Security Chris Tang said the lanes could be used by other people if there are larger crowds, emphasizing the organizers' flexibility. This as the rugby match that drew scores of revelers from home and abroad pitted the Hong Kong team against Brazil. Some members of the crowd shared their thoughts on their experiences today.
It was better than I thought, yeah, because I'd read about the issues, but get into the MTR, and then it was 10 minutes, so not bad at all.
I really like the stadium. I think that the seating area is really nice, and I like how it's designed.
Despite the rain, residents and tourists alike were not affected in their excitement for today's rugby match. This as several revelers said they appreciated the newer architecture and facilities at the Kai Tak Sports Park.
Similar to the Hong Kong Stadium, the arena features food and drink stands, but some spectators found prices here a lot more expensive.
I feel like it's a little bit overpriced, but it is an event. You have to, it's known to be expensive.
Outside the stadium, numerous signs directing visitors to public transport, such as the Song Won Choi MTR station and buses to Prince Edward Road East, were displayed on Olympic Avenue. Police officers have also been deployed to offer assistance. Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism, Kevin Yeung, noted the event today ran much more smoothly compared with the previous match. He added the government has learned from experience to ensure a more convenient experience for spectators, and hopes visitors will offer their opinions for further improvements. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Today is day 3 of Macau's Grand Prix 2024. The 71st edition of the motorsport road racing extravaganza has drawn tourists to the enclave, buoying the occupancy rate of some hotels by 20%. Catching the thrill of high-speed racing on the Gia circuit in Macau, many spectators could be seen holding umbrellas to ward off the blazing sun, with heart-stopping moments when a race car smashed into the fences. A bustling sight around stalls selling race-related merchandise. Some stall owners said sale improved 10 to 20% compared with last year, likely thanks to the lineup of international star racers this year. Another beneficiary is the hotel industry. This hotel manager said occupancy rates surged by 20%. The observatory is forecasting Super Typhoon Manny will enter within 800 kilometers of Hong Kong between Sunday night and Monday morning. Weather authorities will issue a tropical cyclone warning signal at the start of next week. Manny is currently located around 490 kilometers southeast of Manila and is expected to move northwest towards Luzon. The Guangdong coastline is due to experience stronger winds next Monday to Tuesday as a result of the combined effects of the typhoon and the northeast monsoon. Weather authorities forecast the temperatures will gradually drop next week to a minimum of 19 degrees Celsius or below. Secretary for Education Christine Choi said 3 universities expressed interest in launching the city's 3rd medical school. She stressed the government will select only 1 medical school that it deems suitable. The 3rd medical school will be part of an academic town in the Northern Metropolis Development Site in Yaotame. Choi noted the 3 institutions all suggested unique programs, adding that a task force will hold a second meeting at the end of the month to provide details, allowing the universities to revise their planned courses. Choi also said more than 20 local students have been using fake DSE certificates to apply for a university in Macau. The cases have been referred to the police. In France, Notre Dame statue of the Virgin Mary holding baby Jesus was put back in its rightful place after being rescued from the fire that partially destroyed the cathedral 5 years ago. The Paris landmark is due to reopen in December. The 6-foot-tall stone sculpture was paraded through the streets of the French capital on its way home. People with torches lit the way for the medieval art piece. Its survival and returning it to the church has become an important symbol of the building's survival for worshippers. After traveling down the River Seine, the statue was lifted in a crate and carefully placed back at the cathedral. Apart from the last 5 years, it has been at Notre Dame since 1818. The Notre Dame is ready to reopen to the public on December the 8th. And that's the news. Thank you for watching.